This is section 3.2. We're looking at parallel lines and transversals. We've talked about a postulate and 3 theorems. If you know the measure of one of these angles, you can find the other 7 as long as those lines are parallel. We can do that because we know when parallel lines are cut by a transversal, corresponding angles are congruent, alternate interior angles are congruent, alternate exterior angles are congruent, and then consecutive interior angles are supplementary. So we'll go through and do this problem and find those angle measures using that postulate and those theorems. So here's a 140-degree angle. We know that its corresponding angle is the same measure. We also know that its alternate exterior angle is congruent to it as well. This angle corresponds with angle 2, so it's also going to be 140. We have 4 140-degree angles. The acute angles obviously are going to be different. You're going to find their measures because you know that consecutive interior angles are supplementary. So angle 3 and angle 6, they need to add up to 180. So you get consecutive interior angles here, and angle 2 and angle 4 are consecutive interior. Angle 4 and angle 1 are corresponding angles. Angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding angles. You could also say angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior. Those are your 8 angle measures. 4 of them are 40, 4 of them are 140. And notice how we use these terms to identify what the angle measures are. We're going to do the same thing with a problem like this. So notice how they give us 2 angle measures as expressions. These aren't constant angle measures. What you need to do is identify the angle measure first, or the angle relationship first. These 2 angles are alternate interior. And that's really important. You should know a relationship that alternate interior angles have. So this angle is 4x minus 29. This angle is 3x minus 5. So we don't really know what they are. But what do we know about them as a pair? Alternate interior angles are congruent when the lines are parallel. So those parallel marks, really important. If they weren't there, you wouldn't know that these angles are congruent. Okay, so congruent angles give you equal measures, and then you can solve for x. So we'll subtract 3x from both sides, then add 29 to both sides. So they ask you to find x, which we did. It's 24. And we also need to find the measures of the angles. Not just these ones, but all of them. So we're going to take 4 times 24, which would be 96. And then you're going to take a That'll give you 67 degrees. Now, this angle up here better be 67 degrees as well. We're going to do 3 times 24. And then we're going to take away 5. And that gives you 67. These alternate interior angles better match. If they don't, then you messed up somewhere either in your algebra or when you go to plug in. We know that these corresponding angles are the same. We also knew that these vertical angles were the same, but that was last chapter. These corresponding angles are the same as well. So angle 6 is 67. You could have said these were vertical. They are, but we're trying to use the terms from this chapter. Now, angle 3 and this angle down here are consecutive interior. So they need to be supplementary. So 180 minus 67 will give you the measures of those obtuse angles. So that's what we end up with for angle 3, because it's consecutive interior with this one. And then angle 3 corresponds with angle 5, so they're the same. Angle 4 is alternate interior with angle 3. And angle 5 and angle 2 are alternate exterior. So that's the measure of all the angles. Classify the angle relationship first, write an equation, solve for x, plug it back in.